What is up, everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you today. Happy Labor Day to everybody out there. I just finished my shift. Honestly, a great feeling when you just kill a holiday. Yesterday we had that huge problem. I know I was kind of cranky during my Clash in Paris review. I talked at the very end about the pipe in the wall bursting at my work. There's nothing you can really do about that other than just try your best. Water ran onto the sales floor right in front of my meat case for an hour and a half. We didn't know how to turn it off. We didn't know where the main water shut off. Now we know. All we can do is get better, right? But Monday Night Raw, you thought that maybe they left it all on the table. We didn't get a star-studded affair like last night's Clash in Paris was. That was a good show. I mean, like, it's as good as you can get. But it wasn't great. It wasn't extravagant. It wasn't like a show that you're going to point to a year down the road and be like, man, remember Clash in Paris? Let's pull the DVD off the wall and let's check this bad boy out. But tonight's Raw, honestly, was really, really good. I think the biggest thing that happened was CM Punk and then, calling out Seth Rollins. But instead, the call was answered by Becky Lynch, the man, and they had their little bit of a face-off, and they went back and forth. I honestly thought that it doesn't make sense the way that they're trying to pull the storyline together, that Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins are upset that the fans chanted CM Punk's name. Punk never tweeted, he never asked for the fans to cheer for him. The fans just wanted him and called out for him, hoping that they would, he would answer the call and come back to WWE. Now we know from CM Punk's interviews that they were close a couple of times, but instead he finally answered the call and he would go back to AEW, which didn't work back. But now he is finally there. But Becky, Seth Rollins, he got thrust into the title picture, I think, right away in 2016. That would be 2014. He becomes the architect and he becomes the guy. And I think a lot of that was because, Daniel Bryan was hurt. CM Punk was out of the picture, and they drew a pretty good line. I mean, the story they had made sense. Becky Lynch, she comes to the main roster in 2016. She sort of becomes a main eventer in 2017. She is in the main event of WrestleMania at WrestleMania 35. That's 5 years after the day he's gone. I mean, I don't know, but all I know is that on Friday, we should be getting an AJ Lee return. That's going to be huge for business, even if it's only a one-night deal. Maybe she gets a taste of it and she loves it. Maybe she could be somebody who makes an appearance at a Royal Rumble. Maybe she makes an appearance at an Evolution show if they choose to do one of those again. That was fun. But our overlying main deal with Monday Night Raw was it opened up with Jey Uso coming out and Jey Uso talking about the fact that maybe he made a mistake coming out there to help Roman. Roman warned him and he still went out there and he ate that spear, and he says that that's the reason why he's not holding the World Heavyweight Championship. Then LA Knight came down, interrupted him, basically saying that it wasn't that. They were setting up Seth Rollins for the three-man power bomb through the table. It was Jey Uso who kicked CM Punk. It was Jey Uso who attacked LA Knight, breaking up the 3 count when LA Knight hit his finisher. That I honestly don't know what it's called. I think he called it like the BTS or something like that. That's on me. I was becoming an LA Knight fan. And I don't know. I think that honestly, this World Heavyweight Championship run right here with him going into this 4-way might have ruined it for me. Somewhere on Saturday night's main event, it was clicking with me, and I think I fell off because I was kind of thinking he was kind of making excuses instead of like doing it. And then when he was doing his catchphrases, it just wasn't hitting with me. Maybe I just don't see him as the main guy, but like as like a mid card dude, I would like him, and I would like to see more of him. But I don't know. Right now, I'm just not feeling it. But he pointed out those facts, and then it looked like they were going to fight each other, and we were going to get Uso versus LA Knight, but instead, Bronson Reed and Bron Breakker emerged from the back, and then they basically set up a main event tag, and the storyline was, would LA Knight as well as Jey Uso work together in the main event to come out on top. But in the supporting cast, we had AJ Styles. He wasn't able to get the win over Dominic Mysterio for the Intercontinental Championship. El Grande Americano made his way down to the ring. Of course, during Finn Balor's match against Dragon Lee, JD McDonough would get involved, and then that would make it where Adam Pearce banned Judgment Day from appearing during the Dominic match. But I guess El Grande Americano isn't really a member of the Judgment Day, although he's been hanging out with Dominic a lot as of now. Judgment Day, the women, we had Roxanne as well as Raquel in a tag match against the Kabuki Warriors, where they took the L. And then we had Adam Pearce putting together the new World Heavyweight Championship for the women's division, main event that is going to be added to WrestlePalooza, where he has figured that Io Sky as well as Stephanie Fakir are the best #1 contenders to fight at the pay-per-view. And the winner will be the new World Heavyweight Champion. In the back, Roxanne Perez asked Adam Pearce why she wasn't added to the match, and she said that she was the last to beat Io, and she should be into this title picture. Adam Pearce pointed out the fact that Roxanne and Raquel had just lost their match, and maybe if Io Sky wins the match at WrestlePalooza, they can look into her getting a match down the road, but there would be nothing as of right now. Rhea Ripley, she's the one who kind of is left out of this title picture as of right now. She has friends with Io Sky, but they're not allowed to see each other because of Asuka. Kairi Sane is just kind of weirded out in the whole middle of this situation. But, she walks up and we see that, she has a friendship with CM Punk, and she's kind of trying to, lend a hand to the whole situation. I think that's a smoke screen right there, that they're trying to make it look like Rhea and Punk are going to team together. I guess that could be, something that it could be if AJ isn't there. But I think it's gotta be AJ Lee. There was a New Day and Grayson Waller. I guess Grayson Waller finally has a match with the New Day, so I'm guessing that he's really into the group, but I'm not 100% sure, because much like with New Day and Kevin Owens, things aren't going to always last forever. They had a match where they lost to Penta as well as the War Raiders. War Raiders, I don't think we've seen on Raw since WrestleMania. They just disappeared one day. I don't know if one of them got injured and now they're finally back, but I remember when the LWO won that tag title shot in that three-way, and it was just kind of weird. The War Raiders weren't involved in the title picture since they had just been champions not that long ago. Main event rolled around, and we had Jey Uso able to get the pin on Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed for them to get the tag match, but just to show you that they might have won the battle, but they're not going to win the war. We had Jey Uso getting hit with a spear from Bron Breakker, and then a tsunami from Bronson Reed, and even though they took the L, they just were not going to let off. Finally, emerging from the back was Jimmy Uso. Jimmy Uso running down with the steel chair was enough to run off Bronson Reed and Bron Breakker. Jimmy Uso, you know, I don't have the best things to say about him. He's just sort of got left out of the focus. As soon as they split the Usos, it's almost like the old dynamic of Vince McMahon, where he just says that, you know, it's confusing to people if you're pushing one brother, that the other brother can't be doing something at the same time. We've seen it with, you know, Jeff Hardy and Matt Hardy, even though they were on two different shows, people would get, you know, not be able to figure out who was who, thinking they were both the same. I thought that Jimmy Uso should have at least been in like the United States title picture at WrestleMania 41, but instead he was just on the sideline, and he was there to celebrate with Jey once he's all said and done. You know, now him and Naomi are having a baby. Jey is an awesome singles guy. One day the Usos are going to have to team together in an Usos tag match, and I think the place will explode. I don't think we're ready for it, because Jey was just in that World Heavyweight picture, and when he got that like pick me up from Roman right before on the Go Home Monday Night Raw, I remember that I was like, I really think Rollins is going to keep the title here, but 25% of me thinks that Jey's going to win this thing because of Roman telling him he's the man. It didn't turn out to be. Rollins ended up, keeping it because of Becky. But we have a vision problem, I guess you could say. Paul Heyman was not there, so there was no guidance for Braun and Bray, because they said that he was in a hospital in Paris, getting better from, taking the whooping from Roman Reigns. But all in all, this was a good episode of Raw. It wasn't great. I love the fact that it was on at 11 o'clock for me here on the West Coast in Sacramento, California. That was awesome. Can't go wrong. Really, really cool. Love Netflix. If it's on live, they're going to give it to us live. I gotta look into seeing like what a VPN can do for me. Like if I have a VPN, could I just tell it that I'm in Toronto and I can watch SmackDown live? I can watch Raw on Netflix. Maybe get my Netflix to give me the PLEs where I can watch whatever. Or is Netflix gonna get smart and be like, hey, you lived in Sacramento your whole life. You've had Sacramento as your address since when did I get my first Netflix account? 2007, 2006, and now all of a sudden you're just living in Toronto all the time. Like I think they would catch on. I don't understand the VPN deal, but WrestlePalooza I think is 3 weeks away. It's coming up sooner than you think, so make sure you're ready for the jump to the ESPN app for the DTC. Make sure you have the unlimited plan and not the select plan. I would look into getting Hulu, where they give it to you for free with live TV. So it's $85 a month. You get everything all wrapped up into one. It would be awesome if YouTube TV came to a deal with ESPN. I think that honestly, I love YouTube TV so much that if they give me a discounted rate, I would even pay $10 a month for the ESPN Unlimited plan, if they bundled it with YouTube. But I don't think they would do that because it doesn't make sense, because it would hurt them and Hulu in the long run. Hulu being a Disney company as well as ESPN, I think they want to keep the money in-house. But weirder things have happened. If anybody else has a better way to get the ESPN Unlimited plan, please let me know, because I'm looking. So that was it. Monday Night Raw 9/1. Happy Labor Day, everybody. I hope everybody's eating a hot dog. I gotta tweet out the Cena Wiener video. I can't remember if Jem made that for 4th of July or Labor Day, but it was one of the best. But we'll talk to you soon. Peace out, guys.